This week, it's all about pulled barbecue. Pork, and what do you think this is for Sheila on a salad? Stay tuned. Hi, welcome back to One Dish, Two Ways. I'm Sheila and my husband Joe is behind the camera. The reason for our channel is because Joe eats a standard American diet and I eat very close to whole food plant-based to cure my migraines, which is working. So we show you how it's really not that hard, even if you eat two different ways in your household, because a lot of things do overlap. So today's video is about pulled barbecue. And you might say, Sheila, you don't eat meat. How are you going to do that? With young jackfruits, my friends. So this is awesome. This is a great hack, if you will. It's not really a hack, but it's super cool. So the jackfruit comes like this. It comes in these little triangles. If you see jackfruit in the store, it looks very ominous. Like I've never bought it and tried to do this myself. I always go to the store and get it. I will say I have a hard time finding it at like Walmart or Meijer. I usually have to go to Fresh Time. I think Trader Joe's has it. So you take it because it's in a brine. So I take it off, I take it out, put it in a strainer, rinse it really good, and then I'm ready to go with it. So we're going to show you how we do both barbecues, but we're going to start with mine because mine needs a little processing. So jackfruit has a little more flavor than tofu, but not really. So you have to impart the flavor to it. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to start with a half of an onion. So there's 1 can of jackfruit, half an onion in the food processor. I'm going to pulse that a couple times before I add the jackfruit to it. So I've just got a Ninja food processor. There's nothing special about it. So let me just give this a couple pulses. Oop. There you go. Because we don't want it to be mush. We just need to pulse it some. Now I'm going to add the jackfruit. You can sit there and do it by hand. I don't think it's worth it. That's why I have a food processor. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to put it in there. Okay. I'm just going to pulse it a few times till it resembles a pulled pork or a pulled brisket. Probably one more should do it. Let's take a look. So that was 4 pulses. I'd say that looks good. What do you think, Joe?
Looks chopped up.
Okay, perfect. So let's take it over to the skillets. Let's move this out of the way. And let's get the skillets going. So I'm going to talk to you about Joe's and I'm going to talk to you about mine while they're both cooking. So that's what we're going to do here. So you don't need any oil or anything. Now, this is Joe, so I'm going to break this apart here in just as soon as it gets going and warmed up and everything. So that's that one. And now let's get mine into the skillet. So there's various ways. If you look up this recipe or any recipe, a lot of them will have you bake it in the oven to kind of dry it out. You can do it in a skillet. It's really whatever you want to do. So we're just going to put this in here. No oil is necessary. If you want to, you certainly can add it. Okay. So we've got that going. You can hear it starting. So while that's starting, I want to go over how we did Joe's barbecue. There is a myriad of recipes online, YouTube videos on how to do pulled pork barbecue. So we don't figure we need to rehash that, but we will tell you how we did Joe's. So Joe likes to buy the big pork butt. Interrupt anytime if I get this wrong. The big pork butt at Sam's, and then he will smoke it one day. Now, it's just the two of us, and I don't eat it, but we do entertain family sometimes and friends. So he will smoke it. How long does it normally take when you do an 8 or 9 pound?
Probably 10 hours.
Okay. So then...
The goal is to get it up to 200 degrees slow and stuff.
Yes. And you put any kind of seasoning you want on it. Sometimes Joe doesn't put anything but salt, pepper, garlic. Sometimes he puts a barbecue seasoning. It's completely up to you. And then once he gets it off, he always buys it with the bone in. Once the bone comes out and it's to 200, that's when it's shreddable. We do recommend that you don't shred it immediately because what's going to happen is you're going to dry it out. So let it sit for 10 or 15 minutes. It'll cool a little bit so you won't burn your hands. and then start shredding it. You can use those claws. You can use, there's gloves now. There's a myriad of ways to do it. And then what we do is we break it up. We don't add the barbecue sauce until he's ready to eat it. Because what if he'd rather have pork nachos with that? Well, then he doesn't want barbecue sauce on it. He's going to add some taco seasoning. So he keeps it very plain so that he can do things with it. And we just break it into smaller pieces, or, you know, in smaller containers, and put it in the freezer. So that's how he does it. Now, you might say, well, Sheila, I don't have a smoker. What should I do? If you don't have a smoker, this is what you need: liquid smoke. You don't need a smoker. I mean, yeah, you're not going to get the actual, what is it, the smoke line or the bark or anything, but you can use your oven, or you can use a slow cooker to cook that pork. Just put it on. I don't add anything if we do it inside the slow cooker. I don't add any liquid. It's going to create all that liquid when it's cooking, so I'm not worried about that. But if you add a little bit of liquid smoke to whatever you're going to be seasoning it with, or if you want to wait until you do this part and you add the barbecue sauce, just keep in mind, this goes very far, a little bit amount. If you go over, it will be too much. So very caution you to go light on the liquid smoke. You can always add more, but you cannot take it away. And this is not something that you can, you know, if you have something too sweet, you could add a little bitter to it. You can't do that on this. There's no way. It's just going to be too much. So keep that in mind when you're doing it. And then you could also just do it in the oven. Now, when we've done it in the oven, we have done it where there's a cover on it so that all that heat and that air stays in there. Same thing. You want to get it to 200, and you want to get it to where it's shreddable. And like we said, we like to just put it in smaller. I know when we were on vacation with our niece and nephew, hi, Sean and Sue, they did a pork butt. She did it in the crock pot, right, while we were gone. And then they had it for pork, and we did like baked beans and potato salad. And a few days later, she warmed it up, and you guys made tacos out of it, right? Yeah, some people made nachos, some had the tacos. So you can do a lot with this. It doesn't have to be barbecue. So speaking of barbecue, let's start adding our barbecue flavoring. So Joe likes Sweet Baby Ray's, so we're going to add a little bit. It's totally to what your liking is. The nice thing is, if you stay tuned till the end, we're going to show you how we're serving it. And I'm going to do something different with mine, but not weird, just something different. So Joe's is definitely working. Of course, there's, you know, some fat inside the pork, so I didn't have to add anything to his. And it's started to get that crust on it. So that's looking good. Do you want more sauce, or is that enough, babe? Okay. So now on mine, I'm not adding any extra seasonings because the barbecue sauce, Joe found this barbecue sauce, and I don't know where he found it at. It's not going to need anything, but I'm going to tell you what it looks like. This looks so good. It smells good, but it's dried out some, which is what we want. So now we're going to need to add our barbecue sauce to it. Now, Joe found me an oil-free sauce. Were we at a market or something? How did you find this one?
That's the recipe?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were at a general store or something.
Yeah, and there's no oil in it. And it's called Sweet and Heat, and it's a raspberry chipotle. I love chipotle. Now, normally, I would add a little bit of liquid smoke, but I don't think that will go good with the chipotle. So that's why I'm not doing that today. And this has seasonings in it, so I don't need to add anything. I'm just adding some of the barbecue sauce to taste. And I will be taking this for lunches, and a coworker of mine, he'll probably be having some of this too. So let me get this all stirred up. Oh my gosh, it smells like a smokehouse up here, Joe. Call it Joe's Smokehouse. Now we do have this on the very high burner because the only way I can make this work for the video, but I'm going to turn it down a lot. I'm going to turn yours off. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, so how do you serve it? There's a myriad of ways. When I ate meat, one of my favorite things to do was when they'd make those loaded baked potatoes, and they'd have the sour cream and the cheese and the green onions, and then they'd put that barbecue on top. You could do it that way. You could do it in a sandwich. You can do it on nachos. You can do it in a wrap. I'm going to show you how to do it in a salad, and Joe's going to do it on the miniature Hawaiian rolls, and everything is pretty much ready. So we're going to get that started. Joe, you think yours is good to go? Okay, so His is already turned off. Let me stir mine. Okay, mine's looking good. Oh, this smells so good. Okay, I'm going to turn mine off. And let's come over here and show you my dressing that I'm going to make. And then we'll bring everything over to it. So Joe's, like I said, we're going to serve his on the Hawaiian rolls today because, full disclosure, I forgot to get him out a hamburger bun from the freezer. And these we did have out. So he said, oh, I'll have it on one of these. Perfect venue to have it on. I am going to make when we were on vacation with my niece and nephew, we just talked about, she got, as a barbecue place, she got like a smokehouse salad. And I thought, well, that'll be a good thing to put on mine. So I've got in here on the bottom layer is kale, some cabbage, like I did red and regular green cabbage. And I like iceberg for crunches underneath. And then I got tomatoes, cucumbers, green onions, carrots, and green peppers. And now we're going to add some of the barbecue to it, to the top of it. But then I was thinking, how can we make the dressing more beautiful, but still use those flavors? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this raspberry dressing and I'm going to add a little bit of vinegar to thin it out and make that my dressing. I mean, why not? So, but see, it's pretty thick for a dressing. Probably going to make too much, but again, we got this for lunches this week. So turn this. I decided because this has so much flavor, I don't want to add like a flavored balsamic on top of it. I think it would be too much. So I'm just going to add apple cider vinegar. As you can see, we don't have very much left. So I'm just going to add probably a teaspoon or so and then stir it around and see if it thins it out enough. Yeah, that's working. So it's not taking much at all. So it'll be like a barbecue vinaigrette, which I think will be fantastic on here. Oh, that's perfect. So I would say it was probably 2 tablespoons of the barbecue sauce to 1 teaspoon of the vinegar. Look at that. Totally pourable for, see, use what you got. Don't worry about stressing over, just put things together and try it out. Worst thing happens, it's terrible, and you make peanut butter and jelly for dinner. That's the worst thing that happens. We've had our fair share of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because dinner turned out bad over our 28 years of marriage. So there's mine. Let's get Joe's going over here. I'm assuming you want this for a couple, right, Joe? So just a little bit on here. We're just going to show you one on camera here. Okay, so you don't need a fork, but I do. So I'm curious, are you pork fans? And if you are you brisket? Are you pork? Are you chicken? Chicken. Now, when I ate chicken, a great idea for chicken is put your chicken breast in the crock pot, put your seasoning on it, and when it's done and ready, then put your, you may have to take it out depending on your crock pot. Put your mixers, your beaters in, and then mix it and shred the chicken. And then you can do the same thing. Add barbecue sauce to it, add taco seasoning to make it into a bowl. I mean, many things you can do with it. So let's give this a try. Do you want to try the jackfruit, honey?
The texture is different, but with the barbecue sauce, it's not horrible. It's got a little kick to it.
Put it on bread, you would never,
Not really.
And I'm always a person that likes slaw on my barbecue, not him. So it's just like when you make the carrot dogs. By the time you put everything else on it, it's fine.
By the time you got done with it, I don't think very few people, other than the texture is a little different. Because here you have, the meat and the strands that get between your teeth. Mm-hmm. But there you have more of it. But I think it's also some of the onion. You get that crunch from the onion in there.
So maybe I should have cooked it long. A lot of recipes don't do it on the stove. They actually have you put it on a cookie sheet and put it in the oven to help get that dryness out. Then add the sauce, put it back in. So you can do it anyway. I'm going to be honest. It's super hot here and I did not want to turn the oven on. So that is the reason I didn't want to do that. So while I'm stirring mine a little bit, how is yours, babe?
Good.
That turned out really good, that dressing.
Mm-hmm. You definitely get the Chipotle kick.
I got the kick in the.
But you have that raspberry?
Yeah, it's raspberry.
You definitely can taste the raspberry too, which changes it way up.
Mm-hmm. This is good. This was a good one that you found.
I have that on something else.
Well, I think the pork we had on vacation, because I had this on vacation with us. So I think some people tried it on their pork on vacation. So yeah, tell us in the comments, what are your thoughts about barbecue? How do you like to serve it? And thank you all so much for joining us. If you have any future video ideas, we are always open for that. We'd love to hear your suggestions in the comments. We hope you have a wonderful week. See you next Wednesday.